Part 79. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 781. Chapter 781, The Realm of False Gods. Concentrate the breath on your body, at this moment. Lu Shu has reached the realm of false gods. If one can obtain the divine status, or in other words, survive the real disaster, the state of the skill will be directly raised to a higher level. In this way, Lu Shu can become a true immortal. But now he obviously has no intention of doing this. Since knowing the existence of Luo Shui, Lu Shu understood in his heart that the gap between the gods in the divine domain is also extremely huge. Among them, the one that most affects the ability of gods is naturally the Godhead. With a high level of Godhead, you can become a higher level god in the future. Even levels like God King. In the god's domain, it is also a giant. My current identity is extremely sensitive, and the items in the gray world will not improve me very much. If you still want to achieve greater improvement, then you must get rid of the existence of the divine realm. In this way, if I were just a low-level god walking in the divine realm, I might encounter many gods targeting me. Therefore, I need to have a higher godhead and reach the realm of a god king. Then, even if these gods want to target me, they must consider whether they have this qualification. Lu Shu secretly thought in his heart. From now on, what he needs to do is to find a high-level godhead. Then, make corresponding preparations for ascending to the divine realm in the future. Look, there seems to be something amazing happening there. OMG. There is such a thing happening. Record that right away. When the war reporters saw the light on the horizon, they were immediately shocked and realized that something extremely important was happening here. They turned into streams of light and flew away. Among them, some of the weaker war reporters gritted their teeth and followed. Although Gao Tian showed up before and actually killed a war reporter in an attempt to scare away other war reporters. However, since the people from Tianji Pavilion came out to give a warning, they scared away those who wanted to do bad things. So, these war reporters also mustered up the courage to move forward in the direction of the precious light. Damn it, look, the treasure seems to be really born. Is this the scene over there at the ruins? Yes, that's the situation over there, and looking at the light curtain, it seems like a strange treasure is really going to be born. I don't know what kind of treasure this is that can shine with such dazzling light. Is this a gift from the goddess? Damn it, I'm so envious of the divine tree masters in these deep ruins dungeons. If they can obtain the goddess's treasure, they will definitely take off. They will definitely have at least demigod level abilities. Upstairs, didn't you say before that you were lucky that you didn't enter this ruins instance? It was not only dangerous, but also useless and terribly deceiving. Hey, I was just joking. Snort. At this moment, everyone in the divine tree world also watched the ruins shine through the front line reports of war reporters. They all showed shocked expressions. They lived in the gray world and had never seen such a dazzling light in their lives. It was like a miracle, right after. The accounts of war correspondents instantly attracted everyone's attention. As long as you post a video related to the ruins, your number of followers will explode immediately. Every second, at least hundreds of people click to follow. It can be said that the attention has exploded. Everyone is waiting for the war reporters to publish information deep in the ruins. Even though they were thousands of miles away, eating melons in their own sacred tree island, they still wanted to know, what would the gods' treasures look like? At this moment, the sacred tree master who rushed at the front jumped to the deepest part of the enlightenment cliff. However, he was surprised to find that there were no treasures here, and there were inscrutable murals all around. But when Ding Qing looked carefully, he saw a figure appearing here. Man in black. The sacred tree master looked at the man in black, feeling that he looked familiar for some reason. Wait, I think I've seen each other somewhere? But where exactly? So strange, why can't I remember it? Suddenly, the sacred tree master turned his eyes and discovered the ruins guard standing next to him. At this moment, he was extremely shocked. How could the ruin guard he had been tracking down appear in this place? Moreover, this man in black, all the information is connected together. That day, the sacred tree master finally remembered who the man in black was. Isn't this the unlucky guy who was sealed by the ruins guards before? However, this unlucky guy is standing next to the ruins guard, standing in the very center of this treasure. Who would think that he is really the unlucky guy? In an instant, the sacred tree master felt chilled all over. If he were to board the ruins guard and deal with me, I would definitely die. At this moment, the sacred tree master suddenly felt a murderous intention in his heart. He wanted to kill the man in black. Get it all. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 782. Chapter 782, Will the goddess appear in this place? Kill him. At this moment, this sacred tree master has only one thought in his mind. As long as he can kill this man in black, before the other party returns to his ruins guard, if he can succeed, then, not only can he have the ruins guard, he was able to possess the treasure of this place. He judged that the man in black in front of him must have obtained the treasure of this place. Otherwise, there would be nothing here except the murals. So, as long as he can kill the opponent, then 053, the treasures and the ruins guards can be obtained. Just when the man in black was about to kill him, suddenly, a figure flew over. She is actually a goddess. The sacred tree master was shocked. He never expected that the goddess would come here at such a critical moment. That's not right. Generally speaking, if the goddess holds a meeting to recruit disciples, she should not interfere with the ruins casually. Ah! Why do you appear in this place now? Just when the sacred tree master was stunned. Behind him, figures one after another came here. Xian Monk, the white-haired boy, the war reporter, a group of people noticed that there was a strange light here. Born. They rushed here immediately. I have to say that the movements of the sacred tree master were very fast. After just hesitating for a second, the situation had completely changed. There were at least dozens more figures in the venue population. Under the gaze of everyone, it will be much more difficult to attack the man in black. What's more, there is also a top master, Xian Monk here. Even at this time, he can kill Zhang Dust, but there is absolutely no time to rush to sit in the position of the ruins guard. Even if there is a small chance, it is already late now. What happened? The goddess actually appeared in this place. Oh my God, you are a goddess, why are you here? At this moment, the sacred tree masters who came here were all shocked. They never expected that this was a place where treasures should have appeared, but a goddess actually appeared. At this moment, the white-haired boy's eyes fell on Lu Shu's body. Suddenly seemed like he had seen a ghost, and he shouted, "Damn it, it's you!" As soon as he finished speaking, everyone else was shocked by what the white-haired boy shouted. They all turned their heads and looked at Zhang Chen. The next second, some of the sacred tree masters seemed to remember something and exclaimed, "Isn't this the sacred tree master you mentioned who was sealed by the ruins guard?" The blue-haired girl pointed at the ruins guard and said weakly, "Look, is this the ruins guard we are looking for?" Everyone immediately looked towards where the spam-haired girl was pointing. Good guy. Such a big robot is crossing here. No one even noticed it. Their eyes fell on the goddess and the man in black. Passing by after being reminded like this, they noticed that the ruin guard they were looking for appeared in this place. Everyone was a little confused. The man in black, the ruin guard, and the goddess who were sealed by the ruin guard all appeared in the same place. This shouldn't be. Is this the place where the treasure was born? Why does it seem like the finale of the ruins dungeon is about to begin? The war reporters immediately realized that what was in front of them was big news. Without any thought, they directly recorded the entire scene in front of them. All are made into memory videos and posted to the forum of the Divine Tree World. In the entire Divine Tree World, most people are staring at the forum. Just then, everyone discovered that all the war reporters had released a bombshell news. When he opened it, he saw that the man in black who had been sealed by the ruins guards before, as well as the ruins guards and the goddess, all appeared on the screen. The shock it brought directly shocked the entire sacred tree world. Wait, didn't someone say that this man in black was sealed? Why did he come out again now? Who said it was sealed? It's funny, if others say seal it, then seal it. I thought this statement was nonsense at the time. It was obviously the man in black who had gained control over the ruins guard. It turns out it's not a seal, that picture is a combination of armors. God's armor fusion? It seems that what TNG Pavilion said is indeed correct. This ruin guard can be controlled, and the person who controls it is the man in black. 2.9? Oh my god, it turns out that someone from the ruins guard has already arrived first. This man in black appears here, and it seems he wants to seize the treasure here. Not only that, according to a war reporter, the man in black and the goddess appeared together, and they were both latecomers. Is there a possibility that the treasure here has been obtained by the man in black? This possibility is very high. After all, this guy can control the ruins guard and grab the treasure. Isn't that a strange thing? But what I am more curious about is why does the goddess appear in this place? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 783. Chapter 783 Sorry, I refuse. After being reminded like this, the other sacred tree masters also reacted. Goddess, why do you appear in this place? Everyone was extremely curious. Private messages from war correspondents have been bombarded with questions. But now not a single message has been sent back. Just because, far away at the site of the ruins, an even more explosive piece of information has been presented to the eyes of the Divine Tree Masters present. Enlightenment Cliff. Everyone gathered here, everyone's eyes fell on the goddess. For a moment, the tense atmosphere disappeared without a trace. Everyone is here to compete for the goddess's treasure. However, no one expected that the goddess would be at the scene. Then who dares to do anything casually? 25. Isn't it disrespectful to the goddess? Just when everyone was guessing why the goddess appeared here, Luo Shui suddenly turned to look at Lu Shu and said, "You are very qualified and can become the disciple of a god." As soon as he said this, everyone present almost opened their eyes and looked at the man in black in disbelief. Wait, according to the goddess's wishes, has this man in black been chosen as his disciple? In this case, the identity of this man in black is an ordinary sacred tree master, just like everyone here, he is here to participate in the disciple recruitment conference. However, not only did the opponent get the ruins guard, but he was also chosen as a disciple by the goddess. Everyone has been deceived. Everyone feels that the exploration of the ruins has only reached the midterm stage, and the real highlight is the treasure hunt later on. However, the goddess turned back and appointed Lu Shu as her disciple. So what are the others doing here? Is it necessary to continue? At this moment, the war reporters suddenly realized that the news in front of them was uploaded to the forum of the Divine Tree World. It was going to explode every minute. They immediately captured all the scenes in the video and posted them on the forum. In just a few seconds, the number of views has reached tens of millions. One can imagine how many Divine Tree Masters are paying attention to everything that happens here. Hurry up and enter the forum. War reporters have updated the latest reports from the front line. This news is so exciting. If you haven't clicked in to check it out, please go in quickly. It's been updated. So fast. You bunch of beasts. It's only been a second, and it's already had tens of millions of views. Are you living in the system? Ha ha ha, this time the goddess held a meeting to recruit disciples. All the sacred tree masters stopped visiting the forum, they all stayed in the forum, waiting for the update of the drama, and they were all useless. Wasted. Many sacred tree masters clicked on the video. Originally they thought it was the scene of the treasure being born. Result. The next second, I heard the message from the goddess that she wanted to accept a disciple. His eyes suddenly widened and he stared at the scene in the video in disbelief. It's hard to believe this is all true. What's even more unbelievable to them is, the goddess actually directly appointed the man in black as her apprentice. Oh my God, it turns out that the goddess came here to recruit disciples. We all thought that the Ruin Guard was a strategy tool. It turned out that if we gained control of the Ruin Guard, could we be accepted as a disciple by the goddess? Is this requirement a bit too low? But it's normal to think about it this way. None of the sacred tree masters here can be beaten in front of the Ruins Guards. And they have also taken control of the Ruins Guards. Maybe this is the test question given by the goddess, but no one knows it. Wow! Then this divine tree master must be so lucky to be accepted as a disciple by the goddess. The rhythm of taking off in minutes. I also long to be accepted as a disciple by the goddess. In this way, I will definitely be able to recruit a lot of horses in the grey world, and then add a lot of disciples to the goddess. Upstairs, if the goddess finds out that you have accepted a lot of trash as your apprentice, the goddess will definitely beat you to death. 617 Fortunately, you didn't become the disciple of the goddess, oh no. With your IQ, if you can become the disciple of the goddess, that would be a ghost. At this moment, many people in the divine tree world looked at Lu Shu, who was dressed in black in the video, with expressions of envy. It should be a very honorable thing to be accepted as a disciple by a goddess, right? Alas, starting from today, a big daddy may appear in the grey world. The disciples of the goddess, the messengers of the gods, the geniuses of heaven. From now on, the resources of the grey world will have another top boss to share a share of the pie with them. Xianzeng and others also looked at Lu Shu with envy. They knew that starting from today, this man in black was about to rise. From being sealed by the Relic Guard, to resolving the misunderstanding, controlling the Relic Guard, and then being accepted as a disciple by the goddess, this experience should be like a dream for this boss, right? However, the man in black just said lightly, "Sorry, I refuse." Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 784. Chapter 784 Lu Shu, how about I accept you as my disciple? I reject. Seemingly such a simple sentence, however, in the eyes of other sacred tree masters present, it seemed to set off a storm. Everyone looked at the man in black, and for a moment, they suspected that their ears were "Didn't you hear wrongly? Did this divine tree master reject the goddess's invitation to become a disciple? Are they crazy, or is the sacred tree master crazy?" When Luo Shui heard this answer, she couldn't help but be stunned. She thought about it, there are thousands of possibilities, but they are all after Lu Shu accepted the apprenticeship, how to get the secrets out of him one by one. But he never expected that the other party directly rejected his invitation to become a disciple. This is something that Luo Shui had never thought of. Repeat your words again. Luo Shui's eyes froze slightly, and he exuded an extremely terrifying sense of pressure. The next second, all the sacred tree masters present felt the aura of imminent death. It seemed that as long as the goddess had a slight thought, everyone will be instantly killed by it. Xian Monk and others are also frightened. They never expected that this sacred tree master had lost his mind and gone crazy today, or had taken the wrong medicine. He actually dared to confront the goddess? Is this true? Don't you think the rhythm of life is not long enough? However, the brain circuit of war reporters seems to be a little different from other people. What they are thinking is not that the goddess is angry, will she kill all the sacred tree masters in a rage? I never thought that if Lu Shu said these words, their own lives would be in danger. Seeing the scene that happened in front of them, the war reporters only felt that there was another heaven in front of them. Big news. It's all traffic. The next second, the war reporter immediately made all the scenes in front of him into a memory video and uploaded it to the forum of the Divine Tree Master again. Suddenly, it caused an uproar. When all the sacred tree masters were guarding the forum and saw the memory video being released, everyone was dumbfounded. Just because they heard the man in black's choice. I reject. What? Did I hear it correctly? Almost the same thought came to everyone's mind. None of them expected that the man in black's choice was to reject Luo Shui's invitation to become a disciple. This was absolutely unexpected. What happened? All of this exceeded everyone's expectations. The world's public screen went silent for a few seconds. Suddenly, all the barrage erupted like a torrent and tsunami. They all scrolled out of the screen. Oh my God, this Divine Tree Master's mind is broken, right? What did he just say to reject the goddess's invitation? I have never seen such an outrageous person or such an outrageous thing in my life. Wait, look, there seems to be something wrong with the goddess's expression. She is trying to kill herself. He doesn't think this joke is funny. Crazy, simply crazy. It is the dream of all sacred tree masters to be accepted by a goddess, but he chose to refuse. Who does he think he is? Is he a god? Can he refuse the invitation of the god? You think, could he be too excited and suddenly say the wrong thing? Yes, I guess you were too excited, so you went crazy, right? While the sacred tree masters were having a heated discussion, Luo Shui's cold voice echoed at the bottom of the enlightenment cliff again. Can you repeat the sentence again? The terrifying coercion scared the other sacred tree masters to their feet and they all fell to the ground. They didn't even have the courage to stand up. Only a few sacred tree masters were still able to move. Xian Monk restrained his heart feeling fear, he quickly walked to Lu Shu's side, looked at him, then at the goddess, and said kindly. Ahaha, goddess, this is all a misunderstanding. This man must have been so excited that he suddenly said the wrong thing. Faced with the goddess's invitation to become a disciple, of course he agreed. What choice did he have to refuse? It was just because I was too excited that I accidentally said the opposite of what I said. Luo Shui's expression softened slightly when he heard these words, then he looked at Lu Shu and said. Is that so? Lu Shu looked calm, folded his arms, and looked at everything around him with interest. Then he said slowly and calmly, I have already said it to Zhao, I refuse. You are not worthy of being accepted as my disciple. But the things in the secret realm are pretty good, so I accepted the sergeant. As soon as these words came out, Xianzeng felt that he was stupid. Not only that, the sacred tree masters here all felt that they were stupid. Either this person is crazy, or they are crazy, or the whole world they are all crazy. He said these words to the supreme goddess of the grey world. Does he know what he is about to face? Luo Shui's eyes turned completely cold. Just when she was about to say something, Lu Shui the tree smiled and said, your Taoism is not as high as mine, how about this, how about I accept you as my disciple? Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 785. Chapter 785, What on earth is going on? As soon as Lu Shu finished speaking, everyone couldn't help being dumbfounded. Xian Monk and others are finally sure, this sacred tree master has gone crazy. And, there is no cure for the madness. He told the goddess about accepting a disciple, and also said that the other party's moral conduct was not as high as his own. How much wine did he drink to say such nonsense? The war correspondent immediately published this sentence instantly. Now, none of them want to edit. As long as there is any scene at the scene, send it to me immediately. Anyway, no matter what the title is, as long as war reporters are present, countless people will click in. Now the competition is not about whose title is better, but whose hand speed is faster. Oh no, the brain speed must be fast too. As long as you can publish the video as quickly as possible, you can get more clicks. Even less than a second passed. What Lu Shu said has been circulated on the Divine Tree Masters forum. Open the forum. 387 opens the video. Watch the screen. Click finish. Open the forum again. At this moment, all the Sacred Tree Masters are completely dumbfounded. They all started discussing it below. Brothers, you can be sure now that this Divine Tree Master did not say anything wrong, he just refused the goddess to accept a disciple. Not only did he reject the goddess's invitation, but he also pointed at her nose in front of the goddess and said that the other party's conduct was not as good as his own. I thought this Sacred Tree Master was a genius, but I didn't expect that he turned out to be a madman. Really? There is a fine line between madness and genius. I originally thought this sentence was complete nonsense, but I didn't expect it to be true. Alas, such a good Divine Tree Master turned out to be so crazy. What a pity. Video clip, the scene of the incident. All the Sacred Tree Masters sighed secretly when they saw this scene. Gone. Hopeless. This Sacred Tree Master is probably completely crazy. If he can say this, it means that this guy is a life-threatening type. I don't know if it's because the other person is stupid or because he has some serious illness. During this exploration of the Ruins Guard, this Sacred Tree Master seemed to be the chosen one. Not only did he gain control of the Ruins Guard, but he also got the treasure of the Cliff of Enlightenment. Not only that, the goddess already valued the other party's talent, flew over directly, and actively invited Lu Shu to be her disciple. But, the other party not only rejected the invitation, but also directly wanted to accept the goddess as his apprentice. This person is definitely a particularly crazy type. But what is unexpected is that such a madman can still live to this day, and can still obtain so many treasures and be recognized by the goddess. This is something that no normal person here would have expected. They felt that if they were Lu Shu, they would undoubtedly reach the pinnacle of life, and the entire grey world would be in his hands. It's a pity, this opportunity, just two different words, rejection and agree, actually completely changed the destiny of the Sacred Tree Master's life. Such an unpredictable fate makes people feel very sad. Kfia. But at this moment, the goddess suddenly fell silent and stayed. The chill emanating from his whole body has receded. She was not stupid, she had already sensed that the mortal in front of her was not as simple as she imagined. After a pause, the goddess said in a deep voice, "Yes, my moral conduct is indeed not as high as yours. However, as a god in the sky, I am still a true god, and a second-level true god. It should be reasonable to accept you as my disciple." Being a goddess when he said these words, all the Sacred Tree Masters present were completely shocked. Xianzeng and others couldn't help but rub their ears. Looking at the goddess, her eyes are like a ghost. Wait. Even the goddess admits that her moral conduct is not as high as this mortal's? What is going on now? Is this lunatic crazy, or are they crazy, or is the goddess crazy, or is the whole world crazy? The war reporters' eyes moved and they uploaded the sentence to their forum again. What? Did the goddess actually admit with her own words that this mortal's moral conduct was higher than hers? Upstairs, there should be no April Fool's Day in the grey world. Why have you become so humorous? What a ghost on April Fool's Day. This sentence is true, you can find out by yourself by going to the forum, the goddess said it herself. What? Real or fake? The goddess herself admits that mortals are better than her. Is this crazy? I took a look and it was indeed true. This was admitted by the goddess herself. Is this video real? It can't be fake, right? It's true, several war correspondent videos look like this. Damn it, who is crazy? Could it be that the goddess also went crazy? Could it be that the skill of this sacred tree master would cause everyone within the range to collectively fall into mental confusion and turn into madmen? Children, do you have a lot of question marks? I have it too, so I'm a kid too. I am dizzy. Who can tell me what's going on? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 786. Chapter 786, Lu Shu is dead. Now. The entire Divine Tree world felt that Lu Shu was dead. But what was unexpected was Luo Shui's attitude was an epic and confusing operation. He actually admitted that this mortal's conduct was higher than his own. This incident immediately caused explosive discussions on public screens around the world. Now, even the sacred tree masters who are not paying attention to this matter have been pulled over. Likewise, not only the ordinary low-level sacred tree masters, but also the middle-level, high-level, and even top guilds like Muyu Pavilion are paying attention to this matter. But Mu Tingfeng was just watching from the side this time. She had learned well and knew that things like divination would make her vomit blood every minute and she would not be able to get any effective information. Besides, do you know what is the use of this? She will not worship the goddess as her teacher. As the president of the top sacred tree world, she will not be willing to be inferior to others, even if this person is not a human, but a god. The truth that the strong believe in is so simple. At Wuodao Cliff, everyone stared at the scene in front of them with wide eyes. At this moment, Lu Shu shook his head and smiled. Aren't you ashamed to say this? Luo Shui frowned slightly and his voice became colder. Mortal, I advise you not to be ignorant of good and evil. As a god, it should be your honor to accept you as my disciple. Don't you think that if you get this little skill from here, you can be superior to ordinary people? Your realm is nothing more than a false god. Facing a second-level true god like me, even if you are of high moral character, you are not of sufficient stature, so you are no match for me. However, Luo Shui's words fell on the ears of other sacred tree masters, and they all set off a storm. This sacred tree master actually reached the realm of a false god. Even if he is a false god, but in terms of in the world of divine tree masters, he should be the top master. In a true sense, he is below the gods and above 10,000 people. At this moment, war reporters have posted this news to the forum. They can be sure that it is. This is definitely the most epic news. It will definitely cause a sensation in the entire sacred tree world. Here it comes, a new video is here. I want to see if this sacred tree master is dead. He shouldn't be dead, it's only been a few seconds, and the god seems to be showing weakness. I am a little curious about what the gods will say next, and why this sacred tree master's Taoism is even higher than the gods. It's simply the most exciting moment. The next second, all the sacred tree masters clicked on the video in the forum, opened it and took a look, and then, an extremely exciting news, along with the scenes in the memory video, was known to the entire sacred tree world. That is, has this divine tree master actually reached the realm of a pseudo-god? At this moment, everyone was completely stunned. Oh my god, it turns out that this sacred tree master has reached the realm of a false god. This turned out to be a false god, which was beyond my expectation. If he really reaches the realm of false gods, then in the entire world of the sacred tree, no one should be his opponent, right? Judging from the current intelligence information, it seems that the entire sacred tree world has not yet given birth to a god-level sacred tree master. If he really reaches the realm of false gods as the goddess said, he should be among all the gods under the gods, above the divine tree master. Doesn't that mean that the madman standing in front of us is actually the number one person in the world of the sacred tree? Oh my God, no wonder he dared to challenge the goddess head-on. She turned out to be a false god. Now I understand a little bit. If this divine tree master has really reached the realm of false gods, then he is only one step away from the realm of gods. Why should he worship a god as his teacher? In this way, he will still be among the gods. Down. Moreover, according to the goddess, this false god should only be in terms of personality and has not reached the level of the goddess, but the Taoism he understands is above that of the goddess. This means that this sacred tree master cannot learn anything from the goddess, and his status has become even lower. From a long-term perspective, it would indeed be a big loss to worship a goddess as your teacher. At this moment, after some discussion among the sacred tree masters, everyone somewhat understood this lunatic. But, everyone felt secretly sorry. If the other party is only in the realm of a false god, then there should be no comparison with the real god. What's more, based on the goddess's tone, it is said that she should still be a second-level true god. The first-level true god alone should be enough to defeat the false god. After all, there should still be a big gap between false gods and real gods. And Luo Shui is still a second-level true god, so she is definitely not the weakest true god, but a stronger true god. No matter how you look at it, the false gods have no chance of winning. Guang. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 787. Chapter 787, Not worthy of being called a true goddess. It's a pity that such a talented tree master has reached the level of a false god and is only one step away from becoming a real god. But today he will stop there because of this impulsive choice. I think this guy can actually pretend to agree first and condescend to the goddess subordinate. Anyway, the other party is a real god, and there is no harm in worshipping him as his teacher. Wait until you become stronger, then find a way to break away from the gods and develop independently. But unfortunately, what he did was too impulsive. He directly confronted the goddess and completely offended her. Moreover, with such an extreme statement of 1, 3, 3. Now it seems that the goddess has shown obvious murderous intent. This sacred tree master has reached the realm of a false god, but is about to fall. A little impatience will mess up a big plan. This incident reminds us that if we don't have the strength, we should try harder if we can, otherwise if we act impulsively, we may die without knowing how. It's really a pity. I finally reached the level of a false god. If I could return to the world of the sacred tree, I should be a top boss again, but now everything is too late. Everyone just felt sorry for this sacred tree master with unlimited potential. In their eyes, the real gods should still be invincible at the current stage of the divine tree master. And such a choice can only be said to be a bit stupid. There is obviously a better way. However, this sacred tree master chose the most extreme and meaningless one. If he doesn't die, then who should die? There are also some sacred tree masters who feel that the status and realm of this false god are simply wasted on such a fool. Might as well give it to a dog. True god. Lu Shu showed an interesting expression, looked at Luo Shui, and said lightly. The second-level true god is just a third-rate thing. Oh, right. By the way, you second-level true god who forced a breakthrough, don't jump in front of me. If it were the goddess of the 9 heavens who descended to earth, maybe I could pay attention to it for a while. But it's just a fool like you, so forget it. The moment Lu Shu finished saying this, Luo Shu burst out with an awe-inspiring murderous intention. This murderous intention really wanted to eradicate Lu Shu. She asked word by word, how did you know that the nine heavens goddess, and how did you know that I had to break through to my realm by force? At this moment, Luo Shui was really angry. And it was the kind of anger that wanted to kill people. Because Lu Shu's words had touched upon her core secret. The other party even knew existences like the nine heavens goddess. No matter what, this mortal cannot be an ordinary mortal. The video has been uploaded again. Shock. The Divine Tree Master actually angrily attacked the goddess. Look at the goddess's reaction. It seems that a sore spot has been touched. Oh my God, who is this Divine Tree Master? It seems that not only did he see through the secret of the goddess at a glance, but also, what on earth is the nine heavens goddess he mentioned? It sounds like he should be a higher level god, maybe the goddess's boss. It turns out that this goddess is not a real goddess, there is also the nine heavens goddess above. This Divine Tree Master is definitely not a simple character. Since he dares to look down on the goddess, it means that this so-called god may not be as powerful as we think. If you think about it carefully, the second-level gods don't seem to be particularly powerful. Don't they usually have ninth-level gods? Maybe there are also 100 levels. Trivia: the realm in the novel will continue to improve. In the later stages, the gods may not even be as good as dogs. The truth is out there. From this point of view, the so-called second-level true god should not be very good, at least not comparable to the nine heavens goddess. Then this goddess is not worthy of being called a real goddess. At this moment, the entire sacred tree world is ready to go down and eat melon. They finally realized, the identity of this sacred tree master was definitely not simple. He was able to see the secret of the goddess, and that the other party had just broken through, and even revealed the nine heavens goddess. This is a top secret that has never appeared in the gray world from beginning to end. The truth about this world. Almost all the sacred tree masters have focused their attention on this. They realized that this was definitely a historic moment. Xianzeng and others stood at 5.8 with blank faces. Wait, what are these people talking about? Is it really something they can listen to? What kind of goddess of the nine heavens, who just broke through to the gods, etc.? It feels like she is not on the same level as them. At this time, Luo Shui finally couldn't bear it anymore and asked in a cold voice, who are you, and why do you know so many things about the divine realm? Lu Shu shook his head and smiled. Who am I? I'm just a human being. Just an insignificant mortal. It's just that you gods think that yourselves are too powerful. Ignore that mortals can also kill gods. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 788. Chapter 788. The Real God. After Lu Shu finished saying these words, Luo Shui's expression suddenly changed. When other people heard this, they also had frightened expressions. Luo Shui suddenly showed a cold smile and said, since your will is to seek death, then don't blame me for being rude. The next second, he was about to take action, wanting to kill Lu Shu. Tisk tisk, you finally stopped pretending and showed your true colors. Lu Shu shook his head and said with a smile, if you want to peep at the things on my body, then go ahead and pry at them. You still insist on accepting me as your disciple, do you think I am a fool? With a god like you, any item on my body can transform you. You accept me as your disciple because you just want to get my 25 secrets. Otherwise, if I refuse your apprenticeship, there won't be such a big reaction. Since I don't pretend anymore, I won't pretend either. Die. As soon as he finished speaking, an extremely terrifying aura erupted from Lu Shu's body. All his cultivations and domains were unfolded. He was directly installed with Luo Shui. In an instant, the earth shook, and the whole world seemed to be about to collapse. It collapsed. Luo Shui withstood such a terrifying blow, which was beyond her expectation, and her body was immediately knocked away several meters away. Looking at Lu Shu, her eyes were full of fear. You are just a mortal, how could you have such terrifying power? Lu Shu smiled and said. Why, are you surprised? I have already told you that I can consider accepting you as my disciple. But it seems that the one who refuses to listen to the will should be you, right? Since your will is to seek death, then I won't be polite. Xianzeng and others were watching the scene from the side. They felt that their three views were completely shattered and they stood there in a daze. Is this real? Am I dreaming? This mortal actually has the power of a god. Did he beat the goddess away? Oh my god, this must be fake. How could there be a sacred tree master who has reached such terrifying strength? It turns out that this divine tree master has already surpassed our understanding and reached such a terrifying state. There are people outside the world, and there is heaven outside the world. Xian Monk, the white-haired boy, and everyone else here completely did not expect that the situation would develop to this point. Lu Shu's confrontation with the goddess was not weak at all, and he directly suppressed the opponent. In the past, Xianzeng and others had no idea that this sacred tree master would have such terrifying energy. It could be said that it was completely beyond their expectations. The war reporters were stunned for a moment, and then they immediately reacted. Watch the exposure. This is huge news. It must be posted to the forum immediately. Ding. You uploaded a memory video. In the forum, everyone present saw the new video released and clicked on it without hesitation. They are now extremely curious about how far the field has developed. This disrespectful tree master said such outrageous things. Will he be killed by the goddess? Countless questions affect everyone's hearts. The sacred tree masters on the world's public screen began to discuss. I wonder if this sacred tree master has turned into a corpse. Probably. It feels like he won't live much longer. Look, it's a new memory video, the results are about to be revealed. New memory video. Everyone was slightly startled and clicked in immediately. However, in the picture, Lu Shu directly said that he wanted to kill the gods, which completely shocked all the sacred tree masters present. Isn't this guy too crazy? He actually wants to kill gods with a mortal body. I would like to call him the craziest person in the grey world. Damn it, killing gods with a mortal body. Although this sentence sounds very silly, I can't help but get excited. Although he knows that this is impossible, but this sacred tree master can say such words, no wonder he can stand in today's realm. This man is really a fierce man. Even though 787 was defeated and died in the battle between the gods, his spirit has defeated all the gods. Alas, it is really a pity that a legend of a generation is about to come to an end. The sacred tree masters present were completely inspired by these words. It was like a ray of dawn splitting through the chaos before dawn. Before Lu Shu said these words, everyone thought that if the messenger from the gods' realm was in the grey world, he must be an invincible existence. At least, it seems to be the same now. The attitude of most sacred tree masters towards gods is no different from that of respectful slaves. Even some of the sacred tree masters seem to want to worship the goddess as their masters on the surface. In fact, they feel that even if they become slaves of the gods, it is a more glorious thing than the sacred tree masters. After all, no matter how powerful the divine tree master is, he is just a mortal. But he is a real god. Both are not on the same level, so how can there be any comparability? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 789. Chapter 789, Learn from the spirit of this sacred tree master. However, now Lu Shu shouted these words from his soul, slaying gods with a mortal body, which completely shocked the entire sacred tree world. Everyone couldn't help but feel deafened and couldn't help but stand up and stare at this majestic figure. They had never thought that the Divine Tree Master could be so powerful before. Is this the top Divine Tree Master? Even if it costs his life, he must prove that the gods are not invincible. Although his battle this time was destined to end in failure, looking at the entire sacred tree world, he was the only person qualified to fight against the goddess. This is not without brains, but with faith and courage. In tears. Learn from the spirit of this sacred tree master. However, at this moment, a new memory video was released again. When everyone opened the screen and took a look, they were stunned. In the picture, there was no scene of Lushu being instantly killed by the goddess. Instead, it was a head-on confrontation. But what is even more unimaginable is, the person who stepped back was not Lushu, but the goddess. When everyone saw this scene, they turned to stone like statues. Oh my God, brothers, please open the latest memory video and take a look. It seems that this sacred tree master has defeated a god. Upstairs, you must have been completely dizzy and hallucinating, otherwise you wouldn't have imagined such an impossible thing. I don't even dare to open the latest memory video. I'm afraid that after opening it, I will find that this legend has fallen and my Taoist heart will collapse. If you haven't opened it, open it quickly and take a look. The warrior didn't lose. He was stronger than we thought and defeated the goddess. Fraud. You must be lying to me. The more I say this, the less I will open it. This is true. Everyone thought the scene was incredible. Even though many sacred tree masters say this, there are still many people who still cannot believe it. However, when they all opened the war correspondence video and looked for answers, that shocking scene seemed to have broken the shackles of the sacred tree world and appeared directly in everyone's field of vision. That's right. Lushu really defeated the goddess with one move. When this scene appeared in the world of the divine tree, it was like everyone was witnessing a milestone in history. For the first time in the entire divine tree world, they found an existence that could fight against the gods. For a moment, everyone was speechless. Because they can't imagine the scene at all. It was a sight like a miracle. After a while, the entire divine tree world let out a deafening roar. OMG! He really repels the goddess. I announce that the first god in the history of the sacred tree world is officially born. That is the divine tree master who can defeat gods, and he is also the most powerful person among all of us humans. Who thinks that our god was sealed by the ruins guards at the beginning? Ha ha ha, the person who said this sentence may have his whole face swollen. Wow wow wow, God, I was wrong, I shouldn't have jumped to conclusions, I didn't say anything. Who would have thought that the real God would appear at the goddess's disciple recruitment meeting? This person is here to ruin the scene. Damn it, the goddess probably didn't expect this guy to be so powerful. It turns out that our sacred tree master also hides such a terrifying master. Those top guilds nowadays are nothing compared to this master. At this moment, all the sacred tree masters as witnesses were shocked when they saw the birth of this scene. They didn't expect at all. Lushu actually defeated the goddess. This already means that he is a god-level tree master in the true sense. Although I don't know if there are other masters in the grey world, from now on, Lushu is the only divine tree master who has been observed to be able to repel the gods. All the top bosses of the guild couldn't help but feel trembling in their hearts when they saw this scene. Suddenly, there was an inexplicable fear towards a strong man of this level. After working hard for so many years, they were finally able to establish a top-notch divine tree master guild in the grey world. It's like having rights above 10,000 people. But, seeing such top players, these big guys all feel that their own strength, even if added to the entire guild, seems to be nothing in the eyes of others, Nyojaos. If, let's say, a master like Lung, really wants to participate in the pattern of the divine tree world, then they will face the cards of this level of masters every time they meet. Although I know such masters, there is no need to fight against them for the time being, and no one knows the identity of these masters, who they are. However, like a sword of Damocles, suspended above everyone's head, these guild bosses were sitting in very high positions, and they felt even more uneasy when they saw monsters of this level. Anyway, today, all the Divine Tree Masters have witnessed history. The messenger of the Divine Domain who is called the Invincible was repelled by the Divine Tree Master. Planting trees for all, 3 consecutive SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Immortal. Chapter 790. Chapter 790 is simply too difficult. However, let's not be too happy. In this memory video, the goddess was only knocked back, but the winner did not seem to be directly determined. Yes, maybe this big boss just used some method to beat the goddess with a poke. We can't be happy too early. The gap between Divine Tree Masters and gods is still worth facing. As you say, the big guys can defeat the gods, but they have nothing to do with ordinary tree masters like us. It's difficult for me to defeat anyone in Kyokyou, but the boss is already fighting enemies at the level of Tianli. I beg you for follow-up. War reporters must survive this battle and bring us wonderful videos. Yes. What if these war reporters are affected by the aftermath and killed instantly? It seems that we must consider such a serious issue. I immediately went to inform these war reporters that they must pay attention to their own safety and not to be beaten by others. Suddenly a shockwave came over and I found that I was dead. I was still waiting for an update. Upstairs, you are really not a human being. Others are worried about their lives. You don't care at all. You only care about seeing updates. I also support this and urge me to get one more. Good guys, you are all a bunch of inhumane guys. Other sacred tree masters couldn't help but feel speechless. The war reporters who co-authored it are using their lives to record the scenes on the front line for you. Is this how you push for updates? It's so inhuman. However, there are also some kind-hearted sacred tree masters who sent some talismans to these sacred tree masters through the transaction interface. For protection. Well, although the defensive power of these talismans can resist god-level attacks, even if it is only the power of the aftermath, it is far from enough, as crisp as a piece of paper. However, these talismans are still heartfelt after all, and they also moved the war reporters. You can continue to use your life to record what happened to the ruins. At Wuodao Cliff, the stage on the field has entered a fever pitch. All the sacred tree masters are paying attention to everything happening here. Xian Monk and others retreated to a safer place, opened the defensive barrier, and hid far away. Almost all of them have retreated to the top of Wuodao Cliff, overlooking the battle below. Anyway, the Divine Tree Master's eyesight is extraordinary and he can see the battle clearly from a distance. The most important thing is to save his life first. Now, the other sacred tree masters could not help but move closer to Xian Monk. They now feel that there is nothing to fight over in this ruins. Not to mention, the treasures here have been acquired by a god-level sacred tree master, and the goddess has already broken up with this big boss. No matter how you look at it, the goddess may not have a good impression of the Divine Tree Master. If they could leave here alive, that would be a blessing. Still want treasure? What about idiots talking about dreams? At this moment, the blue-haired girl asked, "Do you think this Divine Tree Master can really defeat the goddess?" In my opinion, that's too difficult. The white-haired boy snorted coldly. Don't forget, the goddess was knocked back by the big guy. Isn't it too early for you to make this judgment? The blue-haired girl rolled her eyes and said. So, you are a brainless guy. The white-haired boy shrugged helplessly, and then explained seriously. Not to mention, this is the secret realm of the goddess. If you fight with others here, you are on someone else's chassis. Furthermore, the attack just now was too sudden, and the goddess obviously did not show her true strength. In order to repel the goddess, the big boss obviously used all his strength to attack. But even so, it didn't hurt the goddess, it just knocked her opponent away. When the goddess takes advantage of this place and enters a fighting state, I am afraid that this battle will become a one-sided situation. This analysis of the white-haired boy was actually recognized by many people around him. Xian Monk nodded and said, well, what he said makes sense, although we can now see that the Divine Tree Master does have a fight with the gods. Strength, but it is only the strength of one battle and cannot defeat the opponent. The goddess also said just now that this big boss is actually only in the realm of a false god, and the other party did not deny it, which shows that it is indeed true. The goddess is a second-level true god. Even if this Divine Tree Master has some hidden cards, she can only reach the level of a first-level true god at most. If the battle continues for a long time, it will actually be quite disadvantageous for the Divine Tree Master. Although the strength is not as good as the opponent, the current surrounding environment is still the chassis of the goddess. From this point of view, if this battle continues, there is a high probability that the goddess will win. Not only Xian Monk's analysis, but also several more powerful Divine Tree Masters nearby can make the same judgment. They basically all think it will be too difficult for Lu Shu to defeat the goddess.